Welcome to Let's Talk To podcast, hosted by author Charnelle Williams. Are you ready to spend some time with Charnelle and her special guest? Join our live conversation every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, here's your host, Charnelle Williams.
Hello. Could y'all hear me good?
Hello, yes.
Hi, how y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk To podcast. We got two lovely ladies on today, which my guest is always special. So we have two specials. I want y'all to share this. Please share. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go subscribe to my YouTube channel at Let's Talk To podcast. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. So now, Maria, could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, everybody. My name is Maria. I'm the Executive Director of NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, serving Carbon-Monroe-Pike County.
Kisha, you're next.
Hi, I'm Kisha Arthur-Fontenelle. I am the founder and executive director of Smile Ministry. I am the mom of two, the adjective today's great children. That adjective might change tomorrow. And I have a loving husband that supports me in everything that I do. So that's me.
Okay, and thank this for those that tuning in for the first time. My name is Charnelle Williams. I'm a publisher. I'm an author. I host. Y'all see my own podcast show called Let's Talk To Podcast. Plus, I do annual Women's Empowerment event. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And please, if y'all want to leave a comment or a question for either or Maria or Kisha, y'all can do so in a comment and we can read your comment back to you if we get to it. Yeah, we're going to be talking, so I don't know. So, Kisha, let me start with you since I met you first. And thank you for coming to the Women's Empowerment.
Of course.
How was your experience there?
It's always empowering to be among women that have survived the struggles they've been through. It was great meeting different people from different background, everybody with a similar goal to empower each other. So that just made the event just really, really beautiful.
And yeah, I know we're supposed to be taking it to Atlantic City next year.
That's right. We'll be there.
I hope you'll be able to join us, Maria.
That's what I was thinking right now. I say, I have to join that.
So, okay, Kisha, let's talk about what you do and how you got started.
Okay, so I am the founder of Smile Ministry, a nonprofit which I started last year. Smile Ministry currently offers free life coaching to people experiencing homelessness. Really, why I got started with the organization, I think that it was a calling for me. I've always been drawn to helping people, and I think for me, being close to experiencing homelessness myself, having the support that I needed and having people to walk me through and hold my hand and motivate me made a world of difference. And I just want to offer that same kind of support and encouragement and hope to other people.
All right. And Maria.
Well, if we're going to talk about NAMI, National Mental Health, everything started because my family was touched with substance abuse disorder and mental health disorder. For many years, my family was suffering from substance abuse. Once we started the recovery process, we noticed that it was not just the drugs. It was something more. And that's when we noticed there was mental health. Once that noticed it was mental health, like Latino community, I didn't know nothing about mental health. And at the same time, I'm co-founder with my family with another organization, Root Living Ministry. And when we was transitioned through that process, say I need to do something. Something's going on in the house. You know, if addiction is done, why we still struggling? And I said, let me go to school. And I went back to school. And me, I was in the school. I noticed it was not enough. I was learning, but it was not enough. I
Mm.
was looking for support. I was not looking for educate myself again, but it was the support. And I just sit down one day and say, let me try here in Google. Let me see if it's any support group for with people with mental health,
Mhm.
something that I can go and talk about it. And
Mm.
sadly, around me, I live in the Poconos. It was nothing.
Mm. Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do now? I need to talk to somebody. And
Mm.
I would say, if you notice when somebody have mental health or have an addiction or is struggling with go to jail or struggling with something, they get help, but the family don't.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I feel that was by myself. But I said, let me go to Google after that pandemic. And I started looking, I saw something say NAMI, support group for family members, education,
Mm.
advocacy for family members. I said, this is the place that I has to call. And I would say, thank God that I call and I meet with the director, with the affiliated, and I explain to them, hey, we in Monroe County, we don't have a NAMI. I want to participate in groups. And that was the way I started participating in groups. And we become I told my daughter, hey, I found NAMI. This is a group for family members. She was going through her mental health too.
Mm.
And at that point, she say, well, let's go. And I say, why, how I can be a facilitator of mental health, how I can help. And they told me, well, you have to take some education classes and you can do a group in Monroe County. It's no group in Monroe County. And it went, growing and growing in between Roots Living Ministry. There is the ministry that my family funded and NAMI together. We've been expanding here in Monroe County.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right. Now let me ask you a question before we get to Keisha, because you said when you first started, every things was going on in your family, inside your household. So, and you noticed it. So that's what made you want to do what you do today. So I just want to ask you, did things get better since you started cheering for mental health?
Um, it started in my house. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what was mental health. As a Latino that I am, when you have mental health, and I'm gonna say this, most of the time, by the time that I was growing, um, mental health, it was something like you don't have nothing. You know what? Get up, walk, take a shower. You need to do what you need to do.
Mhm.
You feel like this because you feel, it was so big the stigma to
Mm.
myself and my family that I never thought that happened.
Mm.
How I noticed my husband was suffering from addiction for so many years.
Mm.
And even though that we are believer of Christ, um, we were struggling in the family with that. And once he made the decision, okay, I'm done and I need to do something and let's work together. And I stood there, work with him. It was actions and him
Mm.
that let me know that something was not good.
Mm.
I can give you an example. Sometimes he used to get up in the morning and not talk. What I did to you, you know, what the girls did, and the family was like struggling with his behavior, even though it was no addiction in the house, it was something more. That's why I
Mm.
get to the mental health. Uh,
Mm.
I would say until I didn't educate myself, I couldn't educate my family. I was that support at that moment. So I always told everybody, family members and mental health and addiction and homeless, doesn't matter what your family member is going through. When they have a family, that is what make the person to say, you know what, I have support. Let me go. We are the first support. And I want to be the first support for my family. So the we recovery, everybody recovery.
Right.
Um, the way I see it, and again, I totally believe in the grace of God. Once I decide to look for education, I started recovering myself. He recovered himself, and my kids recovering themselves. And right now, I don't have no complaint. I would say a recovery is every day.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Every day when you're in recovery, you recovery. Every day is a new day. But I can say they understand now, and the communication and the love and the kindness and the patience that we have between each other, it never happened before until we understood what was mental health.
Mhm.
Okay. And a lot of people don't take, like you said, when you was growing up, mental health, like everybody just swept it under the rug because we didn't know what mental health meant. So now that you done did all your research, you done went to school, how do you feel?
Um, you know what? It's still the I'm working with the community. I can tell you, it's still we have stigma about mental health. Why? Because it's mental health and mental illness. And when
Mm,
it's mental illness, I can say it's a condition that the person has to go to the doctor, has to drink medicine. But even though that we don't get there, everybody, I always tell my daughter, you know what? Everybody have mental health. It's a
mm,
point in your life that you have mental health. Why? Because you have a brain. You
mm,
work, you take care of your kids, you have family member that they see, you things happen in your life. And those things get you sad. Those things work with your emotions. So you have a
mm.
mental health.
Oh, wow.
So how you
Yeah.
get, and that's what I understood.
Mm,
I thought that somebody who had mental health, it was somebody who was had mental health ill, has to go to the doctor, has to do medicine, and that's it.
yeah.
That was my
Okay.
understanding about mental health. Now I say no, everybody have mental health. The
Mm,
good thing is we have some people that they can overcome with different treatment, with support groups, with different medications, and other people just need extra help. But if you
right.
think about it, everybody have mental health.
I never thought about it like that. And I did a show the other day about mental health for mental break, like for kids. Like, do you think that kids deserve, well, not deserve, do you think kids need a mental break from school? Like say like missing a day out of school to get their thoughts and everything together. How you feel about that situation?
Oh, yes. And I would say
Oh.
yes. Something that I learned, and I was a early childhood teacher for 20 years before I become and go to NAMI. Something that I learned is this: we think as the parents that the kids don't know what's going on at home.
Right.
So when I'm sad, even though that I get up in the morning, take a shower, and get ready and go to work, I think that my kids don't notice what's going on at home.
Mhm.
That was my thought before. I thought that my daughter didn't notice because it was quiet that her father had an addiction. Or this,
Mm,
if somebody died, I'm not gonna tell my kids that they die, and they, oh, we don't have food today. You never know. Let's say you live pay check by check, and this week you cannot buy enough food for the house. You
mm,
get anxious for that.
Mhm.
You think that your kids not gonna notice,
mm.
so they need that break. So
Okay.
by time going, I learned it's better sit down, talk to the kids, and say, "Hey, this is my situation today. I'm not feeling well. Mommy's feeling sad," and that's the way they're gonna communicate with you back.
Mm,
They're gonna learn about feelings, emotion, and that's the mental health for them. And
mm,
sometimes you say, "Oh, these kids," and I don't say all of them, but I will say, let's say 50% to be grace. Kids nowadays have a lot of anxiety, but because
yeah.
they see it at home, they see it in the internet, they see it
Mm,
in everywhere. And the news, you turn it on the news and they start listening to the news, and it's a lot of things.
yeah.
And you think they're not paying attention, but they do. So one thing that I always remember my daughter just to get up in the morning say, my stomach hurts. And I used to say, oh, drink this and you're going to go to school because I has to work, and I was like, no, you need to go to school. But then my husband used to say, if she don't want to go, let her be.
Yeah.
She need that break.
Yeah.
But I don't understood that. But he did. Even though that
Mm-hmm.
he didn't understood the mental health and himself, he knew that she knew that break.
Mhm.
And the way
Yeah.
that she used to say to me, my stomach hurts.
Mm.
And sometimes now that I'm adult and I have grandkids, I told my kids, if your daughter told you my stomach hurt, it's because something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to those
Yeah.
words. Maybe she don't know how to express that, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
I think life goes too fast, and we're not giving time to the kids to think, to learn emotions, and take a break. And the
Mm.
question will say to you, that will tell you back, how long a kid is in a daycare center, seeing what time in the morning.
Mhm.
6:30 in the morning, they get in the bus, they go to school for 7 hours, they go back to the daycare for 2 hours more. And you don't want them to be tired Thursday? So what's going to happen Friday?
Mm.
Yeah.
So I think the same emotions and the same feeling that we have, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
The only
Yeah.
thing they don't know how to express those.
Mm.
So
Okay. Thank you, Maria.
I just wanted to touch or add to that. I know you said that whether they need a mental break from the school, but one of the things that we discovered during COVID, especially I was in New York at that time, that the school actually is a mental break for the children that have situations at home. So I just want to touch on that because mental health is really being able to use the brain well, right? And
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
some children, the situations could be so hard at home that when they go to school, they get that break from that situation. So it's actually school promotes the mental health of the children. So it's finding the right balance. So what we found during COVID, especially in New York, that the the school was an escape for children that suffered,
Mm.
let's say, with abuse at home, with other conditions. So going to school was the mental break that they needed at the time. So I think a better question is, how do we teach our children coping mechanisms, or how do we teach them to express how they feel or express what's going on with them? I think it's more important to provide our children with avenues to have discussion about mental health and their emotions, regardless whether it's a break from school or a break from home.
And that's true. Let me ask you this question, because you saying at home is a lot of anxiety for them. They're going through different situations. So let's talk about, what about in school? They going through stuff, bullying. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes they want to stay home because they are being bullied in school. People picking on them, teasing them. So what do you do about that? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it the school the problem?
And I'm with you, right? I just think that we need to teach them to communicate what's their emotions and what's happening with them, so we could address it, whether it's in school or whether it's at home. So from that perspective, uh, what do we have in place for children that are experiencing bullying at school to have conversation with adults, or to bring it to an adult awareness? And similarly, what are the coping mechanisms, or what are the systems in place that we teach our children at home if they're going through experiences, that they have somebody to speak with or to help them go through it?
But
Um,
in reality, kids don't want to tell on other kids. Kids, they don't want to, what you call a word, snitch. They don't
Yep.
believe in snitching. So how do you get that out of them if they don't want to tell you, but it is happening? You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
and I will say that I understand what Kisha want to say, that we have to teach that to the kids. But let's say, let me go to my years, 20 years before 10, 15 years that I'm being in mental health directly. If I didn't know, how am I going to teach my kids? And this is what
Right.
we have to understand. I think now I can say, no, the parents have to teach the kids emotional support and all this because I know now. But I say I will not have grace and consideration from those parents that don't have the education. If we talk about Latinos community or Black American parents, we're gonna say they don't have that understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And we just start talking about mental health, what, like 5, 6 years ago after COVID, or this
Yeah.
explosion with mental health. Before that, nobody talk about mental health.
Right.
So that we know about mental health, yes. But we know what we listen and YouTube, what we read, but that we really had the proper education say, my child had this, my child go through this. I know my emotions. So that
Mm.
starts with adults. If the adult don't recognize the emotion, the physical health, they don't recognize the mental health, how they gonna teach that?
Mhm.
Right.
So we have to educate ourselves as adults so we can educate our kids.
Mm.
So sometimes for me, it's easy to say to somebody, boy, you have to do this, this, this. But if I look back, I didn't. I
Mm.
didn't teach that to my kids. That's why my kids went to mental health. That's why my
Mm.
kids had the process that they went to depression. That's why my kids went, so many things happens in my house because I didn't know, I didn't teach that.
Mhm.
That told me that I was a bad mom. No, I just didn't have the education. I didn't understood what was mental health. So I think even though there is, I would say a lot of people know about mental health, is how you know about mental health and
Mhm.
what you understand
Mm.
and how
Absolutely.
much resilience you have too. Because if
Mm.
you don't teach your kids, oh, today I'm not feeling well, they're never gonna say, Mom, I'm not feeling well.
Right.
Maria, I have a question for you. You know how in the schools they have uh, sex education? Do you think it's worth the schools looking into teaching mental health at this in the schools? Like to deal with how to process emotions, how to communicate, how to do you see that avenue being one that could be explored in the school?
And at some point I would say yes, but really, really, really I think that's my responsibility as a parent.
Mhm.
Um, why? Because my belief. My belief, I have a different moral belief that the school system have. And
Mhm.
I want my kids to learn that moral belief.
Mhm.
And if I'm a parent and I believe in some things, I want my kids to understand that.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
I think that's my responsibility. Even though I'm there to support and the teachers are there, counselors are there, I think that's the responsibility of the parents. I don't know. That's my own opinion.
Mhm.
People can have different opinion, but my opinion is emotions and some other things is our responsibility as a parent to teach the kids. And right now, with so many education program and so many things, I think it's us.
Okay.
Mm.
The reason I ask is, like you correctly said, sometimes as parents, we don't know how to deal with it, you know? So I was just thinking of another way that our students, our kids could get exposed to handling emotion.
Well, right now, NAMI, we have something it calls Ending the Silent. Ending
Mhm.
the Silent is a program they go to school, talk about mental health. Um, it's 40 minutes program. We talk about mental health, why is mental health, how they can help friends, who they need to go when they have a crisis. And we do it for junior high school and high school.
Mhm.
Also, that day, we took a young person who went through crisis, mental health, and she explained how she recovery and how she's doing better with mental health. So we doing that. NAMI is doing that. When last week I was in a program, it was probably 40 kids. and we talk about mental health. And the questions that they asked is, I remember one of the questions that impact my first time that I did this, and then the silent was, how if my mother don't believe in mental health?
Mm.
So that let me know it has to be come from home. The child knew what was mental health. She knows what she feel, but at home, she couldn't talk about it because mom do not accept that. And I'm imagining if I look my life back, then my daughter, just finished telling you, yeah, my stomach hurts. I'm just to say, no, get up, let's go. You have to go to school. I have to work. So if I think about it, what I told that child was, I'm going to give you some information and you're going to put on top of the table. And you know what? And your mom one day is going to look to those paper and she's going to start reading the paper. I don't know what happened, but my job and NAMI is to continue provide awareness.
Mhm.
Maybe those kids don't have the awareness at home from the parents. So I supply information so they can take it home.
So let me ask you a question, Maria. Do you go to different schools about this, or do you just because you what part of the Pennsylvania you in Stroudsburg or?
Well, NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Health. We have like each state have a NAMI. It's just 3 states
Mhm.
in the United States that don't have NAMI right now, and we have like 300 affiliated. Each affiliated work different. Right now, I have Carbon, Monroe, and Pike.
Oh, okay, Monroe County.
Yes,
So how
but
do you do
Utah
that?
Valley
Do you
have, New
you
York
have?
have,
Oh, okay.
um, Eastern is covered for NAMI. So it's NAMI. You Google it, NAMI.org, and they're gonna tell you which county. If I'm in Monroe and Pike, if you don't find one, you can call me. I can tell you, okay, this is the affiliated, depend the county that you are. I'm willing to do that. And see the affiliated don't have, and in the silent, we work together to take that to the school.
Oh, okay. Okay. So do you try to go to all the schools in Monroe County or just certain schools?
If here I would say if the school allow me to go in, my goal, we just opened the affiliated Mohawk County in January. My goal is to go to each school and do that starting September. I'm reaching out to let them know, hey, we here, we have, and in the silent, we want to bring it to the school and see
Hmm.
if it opens door. And that's something that parents can talk about in the school. You need, if you
Right.
want your kids to have information, you have to advocacy for your kids. You have to say, you know what, I know NAMI, I know these people, and go to the board, talk to the board,
Hmm.
talk to the principal, go to the district. Hey, we know this. I think this is a good program for the school. So a parent help and they call us, hey, we willing to go and get the information that we need to give to the kids.
Okay. Now, when you just for the people who listening and watching, could you put some of your information in the comments so they can know how to
Yes,
reach out to you?
yes, I
Thank
will.
you. Now, Keisha, let's talk about you and what you do for the community.
So, Smile Ministry is rather new. Actually, we just had our first community workshop at the public library. We did Dream It, Plan It, Do It. Life coaching is all about planning for the future. So, what we discussed was how to set proper goals and then how to achieve it. So we're
Mhm.
excited about that. We are also having a community breakfast this Saturday just to invite everybody to learn more about Smile Ministry and what we do. So our main program is the House of Prayers program, where we work with people experiencing homelessness to we connect them with the resources that are already available, but most
Mhm.
importantly, we provide them with life coaching. So we sit with them, we learn them, what are their values, what are their needs, and then we come up with a roadmap as to how they could attain what they need to be stable. So this is a new program. It's in the alpha stage, and hopefully we will. Hopefully by the end of this year, we would have some results as to whether what is needed. I think the challenge is providing life coaching is that when you reach out to a homeless person, they don't want to hear about life coaching right now. They want to know, where am I going to lay my head tonight? So we're recognizing that's more of a priority for them. So that the aim is to work with different shelters, and Monroe County don't have too many shelters. But to work up to today, I got a call saying, "Hey, I need a place to stay. Is that something that you could help me with?" And I reached out to the different partners that I work with to see if we could find space for her. But that's still the priority. So at some point, the vision of Smile Ministry is to actually have a shelter, a place to provide housing for people experiencing homelessness, like a transitional housing system, but with the coaching and encouragement and the plan. So the House of Prayer program is a 6-month plan where we sit with you and we help you attain your goals, keep you focused. 6 months is because it is important for us that the people that we work with feel like they have one more person in the corner. So we're definitely not a social worker, and we're definitely not a counselor. So what we're here to do is to help them think out, how are you going to make a difference? How are you going to attain what you want to attain, whether that's housing, whether that's a job? How are you going to do that? What do you need to do that? What resources do you need to do that? And how do we make that happen? So we want to be the person rallying behind them, that you got this, you could do this, I know you could do this. Sometimes we just need somebody to encourage us and to help walk with us on the journey.
Right.
This is what Smile Ministry aims to provide.
So how did you get started in doing what you do?
I think I've been a life coach all my life. For family, for friends. My aim in life have always to make a difference. As a Christian, I think God calls me to love. And I just from a child have been drawn and a bit curious about homelessness, right? Like how do people get there? And trust me, after years and tons of conversation, it takes absolutely nothing to become homeless, and this is why I like to stress that being homeless does not reflect your failure. It reflects a fail in the system. So how do we move on? So I think that this is my calling, this is my purpose, to just have positive impact in people's life.
Wow.
Kisha, I have a question. Somebody who is not homeless, can that person be able to call you and say, I want the life coach? Or it has to be specific homeless people?
If the person is about to be unhoused, right, they could reach out to me. We're focused on getting people housed.
Okay.
Okay, and you said your program is new, but I want to ask you a question. You said something about an event Saturday. What's going on with that event? Share.
So again, we just want to make Smile Ministry known to the public, let people know what we offer. So we're having a community breakfast at the Church of St. Luke's, that's in Stroudsburg. It's from 9 a.m. to 11. It's free breakfast. It's open to everybody. It's really to introduce Smile Ministry and to learn more about our programs and our vision and mission.
Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So the homeless, do y'all think, I know every state has a bad homeless. Do y'all Do y'all think Pennsylvania has an issue with homeless like how New York does, Jersey does, California does? Do y'all think Pennsylvania do?
I think uh, in the cities it is more apparent. I think so far what I've seen, the numbers that represents Pennsylvania, I personally think is not a true representation, especially in the Pocono region. Of course, we will there it's more obvious, or there are more uh, homeless people like in Philly, right? But in
Mm-hmm.
Pocono, because there are a lot of people living in the cars, um, and
Mm-hmm.
there are people living under the bridge. There are people living in the trees per se. I don't know if we get an accurate count. So though we may think it's not as bad as like the cities, but taking into consideration our population, it is slowly growing.
Oh yeah, because I be seeing like when I ride past like a wooded area, you see like tents inside the wooded area. So I'd be thinking to myself like that must be a homeless person.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
And Kisha is right in that. I think one of the thing is any like homeless, mental health. Not everybody go say I'm homeless. So it's so hard to count each person that is homeless. That we
mm,
know we have a population of homeless, yes, but how many in general? I think that will be very hard to determine.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah, because some homeless people I ain't gonna say they in denial, but they don't feel as though that they homeless. They don't feel as though they have issues like a lot of homeless people.
I think that I think homelessness has no face, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think when we think of people that are homeless, sometimes we may think of them as looking a certain way or being a certain way.
Yeah.
Homelessness has no face. You could see the best dressed business person out there, and they're struggling with homelessness. So
Mm-hmm.
I think there's no face. I think there is a stigma about homelessness. So sometimes people are afraid to reach out. People are
Mm-hmm.
afraid to let the closest people know that they're experiencing homelessness, because there's a stigma with you failed. You're
Mm-hmm.
homeless because you failed. Um, I, 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 I think it's important to, and that's what Smile Ministry creates, a no judgment environment, right? Come as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your story is, come as you are. We're going to help you regardless, because um, it, it's homelessness is not because you feel. I cannot stress on that more. It's not because you
Mm-hmm.
about the system, and we value privacy. We value confidentiality at Smile Ministry. So we understand that not everybody wants the world to know, look, I am
Right.
experiencing homelessness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we always view people that are homeless as people with cut off clothes. Sometimes if you look at
Yeah.
cars, you could see they're all we tend to our mind tend to go there. But I just want to reinforce that we have well-dressed people that are homeless, and because of the
Mm-hmm.
stigma of being homeless, they're afraid to reach out for resources.
Mm-hmm.
So you
No, that's
can like
interesting.
those people, like an example, people who live in a hotel. Many people has to pay hotel daily, so don't sleep in the street, but they don't have a permanent house. Some people rent hotel through hotel every day. Maybe this room
Mm-hmm.
today, the next day the other room. So those kind of people is the people that you working right now.
I'm just saying
Wow.
there's some kind that's also a kind of a homelessness, right? Because they don't have a home, they're not housed, and they're not choosing to be at a hotel. It's because of the
Mm-hmm.
system that they're at a hotel, and sometimes it they're barely making ends meet to be at the
Mm-hmm.
hotel, but at least they have a roof over their head.
So do you blame the system for a lot of homelessness?
I do.
Wait, you had to think about that and say I do.
That if we have to look at the hike of prices and everything and the and rent, um there for one, to get an apartment you need to have a certain credit score, you need to
Hmm.
have a certain amount of money. There are so many requirements that not everybody has, right?
Yes.
Which is unfair, you know.
Right.
So of course there are people that can afford it, that can do it, but there are so many people that just can't, you know. And I think
Mm.
that we need to take that into consideration. um so yes, I feel like there are
The
systems that could
system.
do different, right? There are systems that could take into consideration uh people's salary. You know, there are times that you need to show a whole 4 months of 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 of, of your pay subs, right? But what happened if
Hmm.
you've only been working for a month, right?
Right.
So we have people out of the streets because they don't meet the criteria that is needed
Serious.
for housing, and
Mm.
I think that's unfair.
Right. I agree with you.
Uh,
I really do agree with you. So if you can fix the problem, how would you handle everything? If you was in charge of the homeless, how would you handle everything? Share your thoughts, Keisha.
Oh wow, you're giving me a lot of access here. Oh goodness.
who's on?
I I think conversation. I think a lot of the times we are part of systems that don't speak to us, right?
Mm.
I think conversation as to what's needed, what needs to change. You start there where you cannot fix anything that you don't know about, you don't know the details of. So
Right.
that's where I would start. I would just start with a lot of conversation with community, a lot of conversations with the people in the community to see what's working, what's not working, and how could we make a difference, because I believe that it takes a community. I mean, call
Right.
me old school, but it takes a community to make proper change, you know. So I would start with that, conversations, knowing what the
Mm.
problem is so we could address the problem.
Now, have you ever been out on the streets talking to the homeless people, getting the thoughts and, like talking to them?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
In New York, I've only been in the Poconos for about 3 years. So in New York, I
Hmm.
I, I would spend time sitting with them and just hearing their stories. Um,
Yeah.
so that I mean, there are so many different stories. A couple stands out. I remember speaking to this lady that was on seated in the streets, and I went to her and I asked, how could I assist her? And she says she never thought she would have been there. She was a teacher, and her husband was making lots of
Wow.
money in construction. If
Wow.
somebody would have told her 6 months later she would have been on the streets, she would never believe it. You know,
Mm.
it reinforces that homelessness could happen to anybody. There was this other man that I was speaking with, and he literally gave me money. He said, "Go buy me fuel," because he needed to light the light for the night. And I was like, "Go get your money. You're giving me money." He said, "Yes, I have money. I just don't have a house because my wife put me out, so I don't have a place to stay, and I can't
Mhm.
afford to go rent." So they're different stories. They're different stories, and it's always a situation, a circumstance, you know, that causes people to be homeless. You know, it's
Yeah.
not that they purposely woke up this morning and say, "Today I'm going to be homeless,"
Mhm.
right? It's always a situation that gets them there.
Right.
Then
Oh,
I have a
wow.
question for you, Kisha. What's
Mhm.
the difference what's the difference that you found here in Monroe County than New York? Because I'm been here in Monroe County working in the community for a long time, but what's the difference between when you was in New York working with the homeless? I'm here in Pennsylvania.
So in New York, it's let me not say it's easy to spot them. There is a really high population of homeless people in New York. They're always on the streets. They're always on the train. So you can't miss them. And then when I'm talking about the homeless, I'm not talking about the ones that are not obvious. So it's as the people that sleep on the train, or sleep on the bench in the city. I find in the Poconos, it is hard to know who is homeless. It's just hard. I mean, you could see the tents, you could see under the bridge. So I know the places that they would camp, but it's just hard to tell, and that's what we want to work on. How do we do outreach? So we're doing, and this is why we're doing general public events, because we just want to reach out in general to get the population that we want to serve. So that's one of the key differences.
And it's so hard to know who's homeless up out here too in the Poconos, because it's a different environment. For one, New York, New Jersey is different from the Poconos. New York, you can walk down a block, walk down the street, you see nothing but lined up homeless laying outside.
Mm-hmm.
Up here in the Mount Pocono, you don't see that. But it's people homeless, but you don't see it. It's not visible like it's visible in New York or Jersey.
Correct. That's correct.
And that's sad.
Well, what I told everybody, homeless and mental health runs together. One of the things that I found out, and you don't have to be homeless completely in the street, but if we think about it, a shelter, I mean a house, a place that you stay, and when you don't have that, what happened with your mind? You get disturbing. You have anxiety. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You're living with other people that you don't know if you're living in a shelter. So those things bring mental health too to the community. So the things that I can say is many people who are in shelter, they think, or maybe they don't sit down and think about it, or my mental health is not right. So that's why I was asking to Kisha if somebody who, an example, is in a shelter and that person come and get a housing, an example, in an apartment. It's still, even though that person went to the shelter to the apartment, I feel that the person needs somebody to guide that person, couple of someone so that person understand that she's not in the system. She's not outside. She's not homeless. She has her own place. So many people who go from shelter or from the street, they homeless, and any, when we say homeless, definitely when we say it's people with mental health homeless, you can see it because it's not easy to live with other people that you don't know.
Wow. And that's true. That is so true. Let me ask you, Keisha, in the comments, please put your information, so if somebody want to reach out to you, they can have your information for those who want to do the replay and watch this later, so they can have the your information in the replay. But let me ask you this, Maria, because mental health let me ask you a question first. Is this month mental health month awareness?
Yes. And I want to
I
say
read
thank you
that.
for inviting me to come in the mental health month awareness. Yes. So we're doing a lot of things, trying to reach the community, understand the community that we here. I do support group for family members every Thursday at 5:30. I want to put that information in the time.
Put the information. Yeah, put all your information inside the comments so people can read your information, get in touch with y'all. So Maria, mental health. You do events for your mental health. You go speaking and do stuff for mental health.
Yes, we have. We go. What we usually do for mental health, we go to around the community different event. Like in the high school, we went because it was mental health, so we go and provide information in the high school. We did community night. I don't know if you know community night. All the organizations go to Northampton and you find all the organizations that are working in Monroe County. Usually, whatever is an event, next the 5th is an event in Carbon County. We go put the table and we give brochures, information to parents, information to. So that's what we do. We outreach in different events. So
And
if
you only
somebody
do
have an event
Pennsylvania?
and they want me to put the table, I go put the table.
You only do Pennsylvania? Because I know you said y'all was all around the world, but do you only do
Yes,
Pennsylvania?
we have NAMI affiliates in New York. We have in Florida. We have a lot of affiliators.
Because I was going to tell you, like, my son passed away from leukemia at the age of 12. So in Jersey, in North New Jersey, they named the park after him. It's called the Shaquille Williams Playground. Every year we go back and give back to the community. So I'm asking if y'all would like to come and set up a table and y'all give out information. You know, it's an all-day event. We feed you. You have entertainment. It'd be a stage out there. It's located right on my son park. But I think because there's so many homeless people in Jersey sleeps in the parks, they sleep all over. And I think you, Maria, and you, Kisha, it'd be a good opportunity, you know, so you can talk to people and you can hand out your information. Even though you in PA, you might can reach and talk to somebody that's in Jersey that's homeless. Because we have homeless people coming to the park. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think that you know, just let me know if you want to be a part of this. It's a community health event. If you
Yes,
want to
for
be
sure.
a part of it, it's going to be on August the 29th in North New Jersey at Branchboro Park. So Keisha, I'm gonna send you the flyer because I think I sent you. It's on my page though, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah. Just let me know if y'all can if you want to be a part of it, because I think since we just don't have homeless in Pennsylvania, we have homeless all over the world. So no matter where you at, where you set up at, you can probably reach somebody. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, I can
And
give you.
mental health, Maria. Mental health
Yes.
plays a big part too. Like you said, I never looked at it like mental health and homeless, but you're right, Maria. It plays both of them plays a big part.
Yes.
Yes. Go
It
ahead,
also
Keisha. You were gonna say something.
I'm having trouble connecting to YouTube, so I'm going to send you my information so you could put in the comments.
Okay, you can you can't connect to YouTube. What about Facebook? You not on Facebook? You can put the comment because I'm live on Facebook too.
Okay, I'm going to try
Yeah, I'm live on Facebook too. Charnel Shard, you know my Facebook handle, yeah.
that.
I
Charnel Shard Williams.
and you too. I can. Yeah.
You did it, Anna. I mean Maria. I
Yeah, and you
forget.
too. Yes.
Yeah, you did it on YouTube, right? So put your information too, Maria, because I just see you say hello, or did you? Yeah, say
Mhm.
hello from you. But y'all type in y'all information because y'all never know who y'all may be listening now that need help. You know. But yeah, Keisha, I see yours. So Keisha, this week you have an event. So do you have any up? And I know you're in the Poconos. Do you have any upcoming events besides Saturday?
No, that's the only event we had. Two events this week, so that's it for now. We would normally have the other piece that Smile Ministry does,
Mhm.
is the Women of God Matrix, where women are passionate about drawing closer to God on that journey. We just meet in a very casual environment to just have conversation about issues that we don't talk about. And so it's more of a restoration weekend. Last year we incorporated dance ministry, so it's just a time of pulling away from everything and creating that safe environment where women could connect and just let go and be, while drawing closer to God. So
So
that
is
may
that
be in October.
so that's a weekend thing? and
Yes.
you go away, you rent a Airbnb. I'm just throwing it out there. You rent it.
We we did the Christian retreat center last year. That was us in somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Still learning.
You're not
um,
so far. You're not so far. I know what it is. You're not so far.
Well, I don't know what it is, but where it is.
so
But
it's the atmosphere is really one to retreat from your everyday, and I think that's the focus sometimes, and which helps with mental health, right? That you need to pull away from what's happening just to regroup, and that's what the weekend is,
right.
pulling
Oh,
away
okay.
with women on similar journeys with you. It's amazing what could come up when you meet with women on the similar journeys. Sometimes when we're in the church, other places, there is this corporate conversations that we have. When you meet up with your girlfriend, similar issues.
Uh-huh.
You. So that's what the weekend's about. We had our first one last year, and the women left just refreshed and connected. And actually, we try to meet once a month via Zoom just to reconnect. What's going on with
Mhm.
you? How could I support you? Do you need
Oh, I
prayer?
think I like that. I think I like that.
We create that environment just to keep that positive, and we're real with each other too. Like I believe that my friends or my closest people are the ones to keep me on the straight path, right? So if I'm going left, I need you to rope me right back in because I'm going
Right.
left, right?
Right.
So I think we're able to love each other, and that's what love is. Love sometimes means correction, and I think some of us are afraid of that sometimes, but love is
Mm.
correction. So that's the environment we try to create within the Women of God matrix.
So
Oh, okay.
you do that every once a year?
Yes.
You gotta send me information because I know did you start on it now for October? You said October. Did you start on?
Not yet. Our focus has been just this week since we had two
Mm-hmm.
events back to back. But as soon as I get on
Mm-hmm.
it, I'll share it with you.
Oh, okay, okay. And
Okay.
Maria, I don't see your information on here.
I'm
You
gonna
put
put
your
it right
information.
now.
Oh, okay, okay. So, ladies, I like this because I like for us ladies to get together and speak and help others because that's what you doing. You
Mhm.
told me a couple of things, Maria, for mental health that I didn't know, and far as the homeless, Kisha, you explained certain things, and I think that's what we need in the community. Even if we start off just talking because you got to talk about it before you proceed with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yes.
even if you just start off talking about it, I think things can happen. We can get more people involved.
Yes.
Like being on Let's Talk to Podcast. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah. You can get more people involved, and that's what you need, the community. You understand what I'm saying? And some people in the community don't understand how important is the community. Yeah, could one of y'all speak about it, or both of y'all speak about how important it is the community come and stands together.
I could first. I If there's one thing I'm really grateful for is the Pocono community, the Monroe County community. I mean, I did 21 years in Brooklyn, New York, and the community is a little bit different. For me, what I'm experiencing here is that let's do together, right? There are a number of organizations that do similar work or serve the same population like I do, like Vala. Vala works with the homeless. That's totally veterans, right? But there is a partnership that happens, right? So let's do. How could we assist each other? So I'm enjoying this here and with the Pocono community. But like I said, I believe that a community is what makes a difference. It's okay
Right.
that one person wants to do something, but if you have the whole community doing that thing, it is more capable of change. So I think community is super important, and I love building community. I love being a part of my community. I love getting to know different cultures, different people, because you know, I love the fall. And one thing that stands out to me in the fall is how the different trees with different colors, different shapes, half fallen, half strong, how they come together and have this really beautiful scenery, right? And I think us human beings, right? Different backgrounds, different colors, different experiences. If we would just for a second stop trying to make each other just like us and just appreciate each other, we would be that beautiful. We
Mm.
would build community. And I think there is something about being unique in a community, because what Chanel has to offer is different than what Maria has to offer, and is surely different than what I have to offer. But when we come together, we put our heads together, and that's when we could make change. So community is really super important.
And Maria?
When you talk about community, we can talk about community in different ways. As the family community, as a family, you need a community to grow your kids, raise your kids. You have a community when you get involved with another organization. If we're talking about another organizations, I work with a lot of organizations. We work together. Like Kisha say, I work with Kisha work with me. I have other organizations here in Monroe County, Carbon-Pike. They I work together with them. Why? Because what I don't have, they can have and they can provide. A person need housing, the person need food, the person need mental health, the person need advocacy, a person need. So in each family is different needs, and different people have the needs. So that's why it's important to work together with the community. And if you think about it, when Kisha say like a community, a church, why you going there? Why you going to that house? You go there because you wanted to have a friendship, a fellowship. So if you work as a fellowship with other people, then that will give you the strength that you need to build better place.
That's true. That's true. So a community, I just wanted y'all to tell the people out, wherever you listening to, it might not just be the Pocono. They could be South Jersey. They can be, Atlanta, whatever. Wherever you listening, how important is your community? You understand what I'm saying? And y'all just said it. It's very important. And we need to like all join as a community. Like you said, you can help me, I can help you. It's one hand washes another. And that's how I look at it. One hand washing another. And we gotta stand up, stand up. But I want to say I appreciate y'all ladies. Nice meeting you, Maria. I
Thank you.
appreciate y'all ladies coming and being on my show. If y'all need to come back and got more things to talk about, y'all welcome to come back. But before I let y'all go, I want y'all to leave with a positive message to tell, like you talking to the community. Talk to the community right now, Maria.
We'll say to the community, sit down, take a deep breath, and think about it, where you want to be and where you are, and what we can do better to be healthy mentally and physically.
Okay, thank you, Maria, for that. And Kisha?
Words of wisdom.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think I would share that the only thing constant is change. So we need to embrace change. It said that the 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 lost my train of thought, but the only thing constant is change. So embrace your change, embrace who you are right now. you're probably not the same, most likely you're not the same person you used to be, but there is something really beautiful about who you are right now. So spend some time exploring who you are right now. What are your values? What is your new mindset? Because that current you is what's needed for the future.
Now, amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I want to thank y'all for being a guest on Let's Talk To podcast. And y'all can always watch the replay if y'all want to go back and watch it. Y'all can always watch it. I want to thank my audience for joining in. And please, y'all go to the comments because they left their information in the comments. But for those who ain't reading the comment, before I let y'all go, please tell your information on air. And Kisha, you go first and tell them how they can reach you if they're not reading the comments.
Okay. So Victorious is always the person that you're going to reach out to, only because I need our clients to say victorious. So they start to believe that they're going to be victorious. So email victorious@smileministry.org. And the telephone number is 570-618-4111. We're going to be victorious.
Thank you for that. And Maria?
I'm NAMI Carbon-Monroe-Pike, PA. My phone number is 570-534-4145. And reach out at info@namicmp.org.
Okay, ladies, we're going to end the night with everybody. We need to stick together in a community. I want to thank Kisha. I want to thank Maria for being a guest on Let's Talk To podcast. And I want to thank my audience for listening. I hope y'all was taking notes, audience. I hope y'all had a pen and a paper taking notes. But anyway, I want to thank y'all. And I want to thank what y'all do for the community.
Thank you for having us, channel.
Thank you. And we'll stay in touch, Kisha. Maria, you're a part of the team now. So you guys will stay in touch.
Yes. Anytime.
But okay, ladies, enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Okay?
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Bye now.
Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk To podcast with author Charnel Williams. Tune in next time every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to live, laugh, and love.